And so one of the things I hear from patients every day of my life, and I've lived it a little bit in my own life on occasions when I've needed access to the healthcare system, or recently when my wife needed access to the healthcare system, that you get these discrete sort of packets of interaction, and it's like literally 10 to 20 minutes, and then you're just kind of on your merry way. And it's
Mhm.
like, well, wait, what? And I mean, I am a doctor, and I
Right.
would walk out going, what just happened there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no continuity. And I think that's what the old school approach, the primary care doctor who knew you, followed you, treated you. And yes, if there was something really outside of their expertise,
Mhm.
they would be, they would have a fiduciary responsibility, and they would be, negligent if they didn't send you for consultation, but it was consultation. It wasn't farming you out to 3 dozen different doctors.
Right. You don't see
Yeah,
the whole picture
that's right.
necessarily. I mean,
That's
and
right.
because we have HIPAA is one of these weird things in this country. We have HIPAA, we have these great protections, but they balkanize information for the people that actually need it, and there, I mean, will be the first to say that like being discriminated for a medical diagnosis is a real problem.
Oh, sure.
But, we do now because of the opioid crisis. At least you know what other people what their prescriptions are, what prescriptions are being filled.
Right. Right.
And so there's at least that from a safety
Right.
perspective, but you don't know the rationale behind that.
That's right.
I mean, and so, I can see what you mean about I've had this issue with myself. Navigating the healthcare system is so complicated because, I really just wish I could have one person to manage all of my things. And do you think the pediatrics still works that way? That was my experience growing up in the 80s and 90s, that I had one pediatrician. He had a partner who knew, who I was, but like, that man was at my high school graduation, and like,
Yes.
yeah, does it still work that way, do you think?
I think it largely does.
Mhm.
It's interesting you bring that up. The same pediatrician, and I'll give him proper kudos here. A man by the, I started to say a young man. He's
Mhm.
my age, so
Oh, okay.
no longer qualifies as young. Sorry, Paul. But a guy by the name of Paul Heil, who I knew from training, our, contemporaries, colleagues. I have a son who's 33, and then 2 younger sons who are just turned 16 and soon to be 15. Dr. Howell has followed them the
Hmm.
entirety of their lives. In the case, obviously, my older son, aged out of the
Hmm.
pediatric practice. But we recently just got his retirement announcement. And I tell you, I mean, it was like, oh, ouch,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the person who's taken over will be great, and we'll get to know him and all that good stuff. Paul wouldn't hand off to someone that wasn't
Right.
great. But it's a vestige of the old system. It really is. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's probably the one place, and maybe arguably OBGYNs
Mhm.
who pick up ladies when they begin to menstruate and,
Yeah.
need that kind of care, and
Yeah.
may follow them through, pre, peri, and postmenopausal years and
Right.
treat them.
They're both very personal
Yes.
decisions, generally
Yes.
going to be made by mothers, I
Right.
think, for their children's care. And like,
Right.
that's a really personal decision, and
Yep.
hell hath no fury. I mean, I
Exactly.
just feel like the mothers in our society wouldn't accept anything less. They wouldn't accept being treated like a number.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and, and, and one of the truths, I mean, is as a child psychiatrist, I can tell you this is with absolute certainty. The instinct to protect the young is more powerful in
Mhm.
human beings than the instinct for self-preservation.
Yeah.
And that's true in both fathers and mothers, but mothers in particular. Like,
Mhm.
don't mess with that kid,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's the big mistake.
Right.